Faith, featuring Justin and Mercedes Boucher.
And we're back.
And we are back.
Finally.
Well, at least we said something right.
Take 3.
Well, yeah, I guess this has been a while.
Just in case you forgot. Sorry. I'm Mercedes.
I'm Justin.
And we are the Growing Catholics.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been at least 5 or 6 months. Yeah, I guess I thought May.
I feel like when was Easter?
April.
Then
Wasn't
it's been since April.
April 28th.
Then been since May.
Something like that. Anyway, but it's been at least 5 or 6 months since we've actually done an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't been able, well, I guess if you're listening, if you haven't been able to see, we actually moved from northern to southern Lancaster.
No dad joke?
Not this one. This is like our second time. You can tell we're rusty. So.
Yeah, so we moved in July, and that was a process. Justin did a lot of the work with having to move, like with the packing and such, but I do a lot of the unpacking, and I do not like unpacking. I feel like unpacking is worse than packing, because when you're packing, you just throw whatever you want in boxes and call it a day. Unpacking, I gotta find a home for everything.
Yep.
So we moved in July, and I feel like ever since we moved, it's just really
thrown off our routine.
Yeah, because like I feel like because we were at our old house for so long, we were getting into a good rhythm finally, it felt like. But then now it's like we have to find our rhythm with this
new house.
Yeah, and plus like so many things have changed. Like Kira does dance now, she's on a team, and like mapping out that schedule. Lily does daycare now, mapping out that schedule, doing chores, and then getting notified with work. They want me to return to office after 3 years, throwing me for a loop.
Right before school starts.
Yeah.
Wait, did you mention homeschooling?
No, I didn't. And that too.
Yeah.
Doing homeschooling and that whole process. And it was so many changes at once. It's like an overwhelming feeling because you're trying to master like unpacking and getting the kids settled and changing routines. And
yeah, we pretty much changed up a lot of stuff in our life.
We turned our whole life around, basically.
But then everything that we were making progress on, it's like fell to the back burner. Like
saying the rosary every day.
Yep.
Making sure we got to confession. Making sure we made mass.
Yeah. It's funny because like it's funny how things like a move or something that dramatically changes your routine can totally throw off your schedule or like your daily routines of what you work so hard to get to. It's like saying the rosary kind of thing. And it was funny because I was talking about this to you a little bit ago where I was like, oh, wait, now I have to try to... Because normally what I would do is I would drive to work and I would say a rosary to work and then say a rosary on the way back. And then we would say one at night. Well, we tried to say one at night. But we did pretty good with that for a little bit. And then now moving down to the southern end, now I carpool. And so I don't really say it in the morning. So then my thing was, all right, so now I got to try to find a time when to say the rosaries. And that's when it clicked on me that I'm working my life. How do I say this? I'm working my life around, I'm working my prayer time around my life versus working my life around the prayer time. So if I'm trying to find time to pray, it should be just the exact opposite. I should be trying to find, as weird as it sounds, like maybe like, the stuff that I want to do should work around prayer time versus trying to squeeze in a rosary here and there.
No, I agree. Like, as your mom, she's set with her prayer time. Like, no matter what, in the morning, she'll silence her phone. She'll do this. Like, that hour, 2 hours. I forget how long she does it for. She's on Do Not Disturb. That's her prayer time. She doesn't care if the world's on fire. That's a little dramatic, but you know what I'm saying. Like, she bases everything else around her prayer time. Like, she makes sure she gets that in every morning. And it's like, I feel like
Sets the day.
It's so easy to make excuses, like, especially once your life is thrown for a loop, kind of like how we changed everything around. We found it so easy to make excuses like, oh, we're tired, like, we can miss mass, or we have all this stuff to do, we can miss mass. And then,
Ironically, though, how things were going for us, things were going pretty good. I'll say, like, it felt like I was talking to a friend. Well, actually, it was my confirmation sponsor, and I was telling him, like, because aside from the move, we have future plans that we have for our not only our family but other family, part of my parents, my brother, things like that. And I was just feeling restless. Like, I was just feeling like,
uneasy.
Like, just something's, I try to be a fast paced kind of like every single time I sit there and say, oh, I'm going to not do this or not, I'm just going to relax this day or whatever. Somehow we find ourselves always doing something. But though we do find a day to relax, man, I do nothing. Like, I'm either like full force or like I'm a rock.
And you're set like that. Even if I want to go to the store, I'm like, for something, like, we're not going anywhere today. Like, it's the rest day.
Yeah, I'm just like a rock. I don't even want to move.
But we've been better with Sundays. Like, Sundays, that's our day not to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what it is. I'm not traveling on a Sunday. That's our day of rest, kind of.
Yeah.
But we go...
Wait, what was I saying?
How you're becoming uneasy because...
Oh, yeah. And how I was becoming uneasy, and like, he really gave me a lot of good advice. And I don't even know where I was going with it. Like, I know he gave me the advice, but what was it? Oh, man. You can tell.
Think about a time in your life where you were most at peace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it's so funny because, like, we were doing really good. Like, I didn't have that
anxiousness.
Yeah. Like, that
uneasy feeling.
Yeah. Or restless.
Oh, that's it.
And it felt like we weren't doing anything. We weren't moving forward. We were moving forward, but like, we weren't making changes, but it felt like that was the direction we were supposed to go. Like, everything was smooth sailing, and we weren't making actually moves, but we were moving forward, if that makes sense, if you ever know what I'm talking about. Now we're moving actually forward physically, and we're making all these positive changes, but it still feels like there's this uneasy feeling. It's like the only thing that's really missing is what we were doing before, which was being consistent, with the prayer life, with going to mass, with going to confession, doing things like that. And it's like, now that that's dropped, it's like, it's
you feel like you can tell you're missing something.
Yeah. It's a hard one it's hard to get back into it, and we're getting our way back in, trying to find our routine again. And it's just like, I mean, at some point you just have to say, okay, I'm not going to keep trying. You just got to do it.
They said when you get that feeling of not wanting to do something, that's when you should do it the most, because that's the devil telling you, like, not to do it. Like, especially when it comes to, like, mass and stuff like that. If you think about it, the devil doesn't want us to go praise God and receive the Eucharist. He wants us...
Well, I want to go to bed, so we should not do that.
Yeah, so, like, they said that when you get that feeling of not wanting to go, that's when you should go the most. And I didn't understand it before, but I do understand it now. Because, like, when like, was it a couple weeks ago? You woke me up for 8 o'clock mass, and I did not like you. No offense, because I was so tired. I went to bed late because I binge watch my shows, and sometimes when I'm binge watching my shows, I'm up all night because I have to finish. And I didn't feel like getting up to go to mass because I gotta get the kids ready, I gotta get myself ready, and I just had all these excuses. And I got up, and then after we left mass, I felt amazing. Like that feeling of being so tired when I want to get out of bed was gone by the time we got into mass.
And I think sitting up front, because that was our first time we actually sat up front, I think our youngest does better when she sits up front because then she can see everything and the movement is distracting her more so like what's going on.
I get paranoid when we're in the front because usually, since I'm still learning, even though I've been to mass a million times, I still forget like when to start kneeling, when we stop kneeling, because we're at a new parish too, so they do things differently. Because usually when after the Eucharist, St. Mary's and the other churches we went to, after they put Jesus away, is that the right term? Mm-hmm. We sit back in our seats, we're done kneeling. But then when we were at this church, even after they put Jesus away, everyone's still kneeling. And then I'm confused.
I think it's
like a preference?
Yeah, it's like a couple weeks ago, we went to a Spanish mass, and it was all in Spanish. And so, like, I'm not even going to pretend to be like, oh, God, like, I know what they're saying because I don't. Like, I know
I knew when they were saying in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I knew enough to follow along with the math just from memory. But when they were doing the homily and the songs, forget it. Like, I wasn't even going to try to pay. Like, oh, let me hear what he's trying to say. Like, you might as well have,
But I really liked that church. It was lively. They had music. They had tambourines.
But that mass.
They were in it.
But that mass was completely, like, when they were going up for communion, it was almost like a free-for-all. Like, everyone just got out of the pews at once, and, like, whoever can get there first. And so, like, it wasn't, like, I mean, there was some sort of pattern up until a certain point, and then a bunch of people just started coming out from the back and just walking up right away. And then, before they even went up for communion, after the Lamb of God, everyone sat down. Oh. They weren't kneeling. They all sat down.
I missed that. Our toddler was having a tantrum. Or had to go to the bathroom. I don't remember. But we were out there for a while.
She was hot.
Oh, yeah. Then I thought, because the church was packed. So I was like, I figured I had time to run her to the bathroom, she wanted water.
Yeah.
And come back. By the time I took her to the bathroom, got some water, everyone was done with the communion. I was like, because Justin's like, you missed communion. And I'm just like, how? Like, how fast was that line?
Very fast.
But I really did like that church. I wish I had understood what they were saying.
But a lot didn't even go up for communion. I think it was also because there was like 5 or so baptisms. So I think a lot of people were there for the baptism.
Oh, and not
necessarily, yeah, if they're a Catholic or not.
Yeah, but I liked how...
Could be, I don't know.
I liked how packed the church was, too. Because a lot of times, especially these days, you don't see packed churches unless it's Christmas or Easter or Ash Wednesday, which is the funniest because Ash Wednesday is not a holy day of obligation.
I'm a Christmas Catholic.
Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, let's make heaven crowded. Like, let's make these churches crowded. Like, even going to St. Mary's, like sometimes going to the 9 a.m. or 10:30 mass, like there's like all these empty pews and such, which sometimes bothers me when there's all these empty pews and someone sits next to me.
Well,
I know it shouldn't bother me, but it's like I still trip up on things, so it's like I hope this person doesn't try to follow along with me because I'm not that one.
Well, it's interesting because I was listening to my buddy who also has a outdoor YouTube channel, Sean's Outdoor Adventures, and he likes to correlate like the archery and bring the outdoors and faith together, and his one YouTube channel, it's actually pretty successful too. But he just started a podcast which is called Faith in the Outdoors. Half of it's faith, the other half is outdoor related. And so even if you don't like the outdoor or the hunting aspect to it, because there's no talk of, or there could be in future episodes for all I know, but like the first half is all about faith. And So even the first half is still good to listen to. But he was talking about that Jesus wants, to bring people back to the church, inside church, not just say, oh, well, I don't need to go to church every Sunday. I can worship him in the outdoors, or I can worship him on the beach, or wherever the case may be. But he put an example of saying, what if you had 9 people, invited 9 people for Thanksgiving, and only 5 people showed up? Well, there's still 9 more empty seats. What do you think that's going to affect? Or if only 3 people showed up and there's still, 6 empty spots. That's kind of how it is. There's so many empty, like, especially, like, maybe it's just me, but I felt like at our old parish, that's where I grew up. I felt like growing up, that place was always packed. Growing up, now it feels like it's empty, and I don't know if it has stuff to do with like the whole COVID thing. Like, I don't know if that put a halt to a lot of people coming into church, where it's like, oh, now I can watch it on TV versus go, and I know it's a lot easier and convenient, I guess, even though it doesn't necessarily count. I guess it would count if you're sick and you can't make it to mass. That's better than nothing. But I don't know. I just remember that being always a decent amount of people. Now it feels like there's not that many people. Mm-hmm. Like, I can, not all the time, but.
No, I agree. Side note before I forget, when you were saying, like, he doesn't talk about, like, the, I guess, hunting and such aspect, imagine that's all he talks about, like, for the next, like, 8 or 10 episodes, or that's what he talks about going forward.
He's wrong.
I'm gonna prove him wrong. I feel like a lot of it is church used to be packed growing up because Sundays were truly a day of rest. Stores closed early, or they were closed, period, or you didn't do anything that was like a family day. You guys had dinner, whole family came over. And on top of that, if you think about these days, like, parents have their kids in so many sports. Like, it's like Father C was saying that one time, like, it's all about building your child's resume.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, people base their schedule on their kids' sports, like signing them up for soccer or football or whatever. And then it's the next sport, and not making church the priority. Like, even look at CYO. It's a Catholic organization. They have games on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Why? You're a Catholic organization who should be supporting getting families to mass, and doing that one mass per season. Hoorah. But what about all those other Sundays where you're having games, and sometimes 2 games?
Yeah, we were busy when she was in volleyball.
Don't remind me. Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is supposed to be a day of rest. And I feel so many parents are focused on making their kid the next big thing or whatever. And I support putting your kids in sports and putting them in activities. But if they have, what's their faith? I want to know, what's their faith life like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what's that really teach them? Oh, I can do sports for the next 20-some years and not have a great relationship with God. I can skip Sunday because mom and dad say are cool. Because if you think about it, our kids are learning from us. We're the example.
We set the tone.
Exactly. Like, if our kids are seeing us like, oh, like, remember how you weren't going to mass and stuff like that before? And then
Kira would ask.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, well, Dad doesn't go.
Yep.
Dad's going to start going. So, like, and then, like, we're setting that tone for how she has her family. Or, according to you, she'll be in a convent. So, it's just, like, I think sometimes we get so carried away. Like, you want your kid to have amazing opportunities, but your kid can still have amazing opportunities and still have an amazing faith life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people say, I'll let them decide when they're older. But if they haven't seen it, then why are they going to even explore? How are they going to know to explore it unless they just come about it now, somewhere else?
How they know the beauty of it if they're not seeing it.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's going to be their choice, but they're going to have a better chance by watching you do it and show what it means to you. So yeah, it's
I'm about to put you on the spot so hard right now, and it's just a question, and you don't have to answer it. So you know how your mom is like very strong in her faith, and
not
you know,
answering.
okay, anyway.
I know where this is going. Go ahead.
So you know how growing up, like your dad didn't really go to mass like that. Do you feel that if your dad consistently went to mass and set the tone for you guys, that later on you wouldn't have skipped mass or made like, you know how you were saying, telling your mom you were going to mass but actually not going? Do you think you would have went? Like, I know at the end of the day you really don't know, but if you would,
I don't know. 'Cause
I'm not
honestly,
throwing any shade at your dad. Let me add that in there.
I don't remember really him not going. I guess my mom does, because I remember, I guess, when I said, why isn't dad going? But I really don't remember that far back. I don't remember him not going.
Okay.
Now, I mean, I guess at the time maybe but it'd be like asking, like, you know, Kira when she's 35. Hey, do you remember this time when like Shima and I remember that.
Kira asked me about something when Lily was born today. She's like, remember when I pretended to be sick so I can get your attention, but then Dad just ended up taking care of me? I was like, oh, no, I don't. It was when Lily was first born and she wanted attention. Kira's 12 and Lily's 3. So when she was born, Kira's been the only child for 8 years. So then coming into that, it was a transition. I didn't remember that.
Oh, wait, this is when we're still in Denver.
No, not in Denver. We were still at the old apartment.
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
And I was like, okay, I kind of remember that now. Like, you got stuck taking care of her, but you were the one taking care of her. She's like, so my plan didn't work. Clearly.
Yeah, so she's going to remember. Maybe she will remember the stuff, but she probably has a better memory than me.
Remember
I can't
her
even remember
devious
what I
acts.
did. Someone asked me, oh, what'd you do at work today? I have to think about it. I don't remember. And it was literally just after I got off of work.
Side note.
But we did multiple jobs that day, or today.
I feel like you guys do multiple jobs every day. Side note. You know how you used to do the rosary in the morning? Mm-hmm. Also, it's October. October is the month of the Holy Rosary.
I have been doing a decade, though.
I was saying,
it's not much.
You could do a decade, like, on your way to go to pick up
It's not. I know I can do better, because that's the sad part. It's like I have time for so many other things, yet all I have to do is wake up a little bit earlier. It takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. All I gotta do is wake up a little bit earlier, and I'm good. Like, that's the, like.
You can say while you're making your sandwiches.
Well, I like, then it feels like I'm trying to squeeze in the rosary while I'm trying to do everything else. So it's like, I guess it's.
You want to just give it the time that it's
it
due.
deserves, yeah, because it's like, it really isn't that hard. And
but I feel like if you're inching it back into your life, doing it whenever you can, a decade, splitting up your decades or whatever.
It's better than nothing. I won't. I'll say that, but it's like I can do better, and I think it's, and I'm not sitting there being like, oh yeah, shame on you if you don't go to mass, because I'm just as guilty of that.
No, you suck.
Like,
just kidding.
It's not.
Totally kidding.
It's not that hard to do that kind of stuff, especially now that our parish is only 5 minutes away.
It just makes us leave later.
Yeah, but like, and it's interesting because like our priest is from Nigeria, and he has a very strong accent. So like, you have to really pay attention to what he's saying, because if you don't, then you kind of sometimes miss some of the things that he says.
Yeah, if Lily talks to me while he's saying his homily, I get lost, and it takes me a minute to find like where he is.
But yeah, I hate using that word. Oh, I'm trying to do better, because I feel like
it's so easy to make excuses, though.
Yeah, well, it's just like,
because we feel like there's always tomorrow, but we have a lot less tomorrows than we think we do. We have more yesterdays than we do tomorrows.
Yeah, I can walk outside tomorrow on my way to work, and boom, something happened to me, and it's a reality. like you can't be if you are shocked at the fact that you could possibly die tomorrow, then something's you have like anything can happen.
Somebody, a woman I a woman I follow, she has cancer, and her page is called Blessed with Cancer. I love her story. She said like how we all seem to forget we all have an expiration date.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reality is the second you're born, you're dying. Just everyone's death is different.
Guaranteed.
Well, no, it's different time. But the second you're born, you are automatically dying because you're going to die at one point in your life.
Got it. All right, moving on.
And just no one knows. But it's like, why, I'll put it off till tomorrow or, and so I kick myself sometimes because I'm like, I'm better than, like, I know I can do better than this. And it's like, I'm not going to settle just for, I'm doing a decade each day because I know I'm better than that. I'll miss this mass, but I'll go next week. I'm better than that. Like, I know better than to do that.
Oh, yeah, well, we were just talking the other day how we said, like, if we did die, like...
My soul's in question.
Our soul's TBD.
Though there's one thing I have not changed, and it is where I've been wearing my scapular. I have not, as sometimes it bothers me, I have not taken it off a single day yet.
The shade.
For what?
I'm not wearing mine. I haven't worn mine in a little bit.
Oh, I thought you took it off, but I thought you were still wearing it.
No.
No. Well, why am I throwing shade then? I didn't know
Because I
that.
haven't worn it. It's a joke. I need to get back to wearing it. It's just like it itches me sometimes, but I feel like that's just God telling me like do better. Because I sometimes I don't know how to explain it. I have a very strong opinion about things sometimes.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain things, and I just have a low tolerance for things, and not for all things, just certain things. It's like pet peeves almost. Whereas like as one of God's children, I need to be more lenient and more loving. Like there's certain people that like I'll give all my love to no matter what, but then there's other people where I'm giving the strongest side I got because I just have opinions about it, if that makes sense.
No,
but
I
it's
get
one
that.
like how we were talking the other day, yesterday. I don't know. All my days are one. Like how like we could wish ill on somebody, and we just committed a sin. Like we committed a sin in our heart, and like that's sometimes me. Like I'm talking out issues. Like I'd slap her.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But,
We were talking about like murder and things like that. It's like you can commit murder in your heart by, I mean, if you wish someone dead, you just committed murder in your heart by,
or something happens, you like have a scenario like, if I was that person, I would have stabbed them, or I would have fought back, or something. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. Like,
yeah.
That's considered sinful. And usually when people tell me stories, I am that person. Like, I would have hit that person.
But I think it's funny. It's like, it's funny though, like there was, I'm trying to think of the best way to, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. Continue.
So, where was I going with this? So, where was I going with this? So I'm just trying to be more loving to everyone, even as I feel as they don't deserve it. So lately, when me and Kira in the car, usually when someone sets me off in the car, that usually is the worst. Especially, it always happens after confession usually. Instead of honking or giving them the bird, I say praying for you because anything else is considered a sin.
But I'm thinking something different.
I know it doesn't count if like I'm trying to have my brain not think it, but like what I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like
Jesus knows what you're thinking.
I know, but side note, like okay, so that's the other thing we talked about, Judas. So even though, because we were saying like how we should treat our enemies and treat our loved ones, and Jesus treated everyone the same. If you think about it, Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him, and still treated him as normal. Like, even though he knew that was coming, he didn't say, like, don't speak to me. This is toxic. You know what I mean?
Essentially, what we were talking about was the new thing that happened down in Florida, which they're implementing the death penalty for child abusers. It's a polite way of putting it. And we started talking about it, and I was telling her that there was plenty of people who I follow on Instagram talking about this, and they were saying, yes, send them to their maker, and they were so excited. Everyone's cheering for it, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I know it's maybe not the opinion of a lot of people, but ultimately, you're still cheering for killing one of God's kids. And that's when you brought up the whole Judas thing, which I thought was cool. It was like, he knew he was going to betray him, but he still showed, him love and all that.
Yeah. Oh, that brings me to completely side note.
We don't have the final say for the
we
final
don't
punishment.
make that judgment
We don't make the final punishment.
As hard as that might be, like, we might have our opinions about it, but...
Now, mind you, it is super easy to sit there and say, oh, yeah, you got to forgive and love, blah, blah, blah. And if it ever happened to, like, a situation where something dramatic happened to you or the kids or whatever the case may be, like, if someone was drunk driving, that happens a lot. Mm-hmm. End up killing all three of you. Like, the amount of rage and hate.
I'm haunting people.
To sit there and be like, oh yeah, and someone telling me, oh yeah, you gotta, forgive and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd be like, don't talk to me right now. Like, I mean, I would be so upset. So it's like, it's really easy to sit there and say, oh, that's the hard, I think that's the hardest part. It's like, you try to be this decent person, and then stuff can trigger you, and you're just like,
also, we have to remember, being a decent person and being a good person isn't going to get you to heaven.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus broke bread with sinners. Jesus broke bread with the woman. Wait, no, he didn't break bread with. But he talked to that woman at the well, and she was what was she? The one at the well. That story always gospel.
I know what you're talking about, but
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, he talked to that person. He talked to other people, and I'm not agreeing with, like, I lost my train of thought, but basically is that we can't make that judgment call and say, like, this when someone can die. Not agreeing with what their actions are or anything else, because I'm not for that whatsoever. Well, obviously no one is, except anyway. Side note, we saw Sound of Freedom.
Oh yeah,
absolutely amazing movie. It'll make you never want to let your kids leave the house ever again.
That's right, I forgot about that. So it's funny because we filmed
an episode
right after we saw that, and we were talking. I totally forgot that we saw that because we did a whole episode, but then we had issue with the volume. So if you see me like kind of like changing things, like it's only because we did the whole episode and then the volume was completely messed up. You couldn't
hear anything.
You couldn't, yeah. So like I'm making sure this doesn't happen again, so we don't have to do round number 3. And that episode was done like a month or 2 ago.
And yeah.
Oh yeah, it was almost right when we first.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Yeah, because
it was before vacation.
Our niece was here. Oh yeah, right before vacation, right before. So beginning of August.
Yeah.
That was a month after we moved here.
Yeah. Well, I thought you said when we just moved in. And
okay, month. June, July,
see the
August,
side
September.
Eye.
Yeah, but, it's probably been 3 months.
Anyway, so Sound of Freedom was a phenomenal movie. I cried in the first 10 minutes because it really opens your eyes about so many things. And then at the end, they actually show live footage from the raids and all the other stuff that they went through.
And it's crazy.
I just thought of something, but I'll tell you later.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't want to spoil it for other people because I found something out after the movie and I don't want to spoil it.
What?
But I do.
Do I know?
No. I was doing my own research because once I start doing research about things, I go down a rabbit hole.
All right. Well, then you gotta tell me.
It's gonna make
Now-
you so sad.
All right. Well, tell me after. I don't want to just think. I mean, just say it.
Some people might want to watch that movie. So in the movie,
All right. Pause it or skip like 10 seconds, and then
then follow along later. But anyway, in the movie, it's about a brother and sister. They go to that agency and end up being a child trafficking thing. In the movie, they found that little boy. In real life, they never found that little boy. He's still missing.
Really?
Is that so sad? Doesn't it break your heart?
Wow, man. But they found the girl.
Yeah, they found the girl, but they never found her brother.
Wow. Okay. That.
I know, it's gonna make me cry all over again. It was so sad. And it had a good ending because they found the little girl. And it's crazy because it really opens your mind up. Because, oh yeah, that's the other thing. Besides the raids, they had live footage of how kids were taken. Like, women were just standing on the sidewalk and kids were just snatched up so fast. Like, you turn away for a second and your kid's gone.
And it's mind-boggling to think that people think that the movie was dramatized or it was all propaganda, fake. And it's like, watching the movie, it really wasn't like, oh my gosh, this seems too unreal to happen. Like, it legit.
And they're trying to make it seem like they were trying to make it seem like human trafficking is not an issue, and it's a huge issue.
Yeah, like, even if they're saying, oh well, it can't be thousands, even if it was hundreds, that's still too much.
So many kids go missing, and it's so sad because only God knows where they end up.
Like, I can't even, like, I was so upset after, like, just seeing the actors were amazing in that movie, like of how they played that they lost their, like well, let's not think about it too much because yeah.
Yeah, so it really opens your eyes and it will make you really not want your kids to go anywhere. Because then I saw, was it at the end of the movie or was it another video where dad was saying he wouldn't let his daughter sleep over anywhere until she was 18. Then her 18th birthday, she was allowed to go to a sleepover. And when she went to that sleepover, it was like her and her 5 friends. All of them had a story besides her that they've been abused at one house or another, either by a family member or by a friend's family member or something like that. And that's so crazy to think about because at the end of the day, you really don't know what goes on in other people's houses. Like, Kira's allowed at like maybe 3 now, like Larry and Lauren's.
But it's hard. It's
my
like
parents, your parents, and then
it's
Heather.
sucky. You have to be this careful. Like, it really is. Like, well, I'm not gonna paint the perfect picture, but could you imagine if you didn't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, like, at all? Like, but
yeah, they're gross. People are absolutely disgusting.
but
It really opens your eyes, like, being more mindful, like, when you are out and about, because people try to do, like, the slickest things just to whatever.
yep.
So gross.
But what else?
I feel like I gotta stage kidnapping so Kira knows, like, what to do.
I just saw some videos of, but it wasn't young. It was like older kids, and the dad was the one who's kidnapping them into a truck, and they're like, "I told you not to go into a truck with strangers," and the dad was.
I feel like if I did this to Kira, it'd probably end up so terrible. But, like, it's just sad. Like, you have to prepare your kids for the world we live in.
Yeah.
And I really hope it goes the opposite direction soon.
What else do we talk about? Oh. Your store.
Oh yeah, so it's not open yet, but I'm relaunching the biz.
It's not
Crafts by Sadie's anymore. It is. What? I can't read lips. It looked like
Enduring Love Designs.
No, oh, it's Enduring Grace.
Enduring. Oh wow, I even forgot. Enduring Grace Designs.
Enduring Love. When you were lipping it, I thought you said something about lava. Like, what?
Love. See, I'm trying to remind you. I'm the kid in the background telling you the wrong answer. Like,
Enduring Grace Creations.
Is it Creations?
Yes. So
One of those two.
TBD.
I have the drawings as designs, but whatever.
I guess you're changing it then, huh? Just kidding.
That was the original one.
I know, but I felt like Creations was better.
Okay.
Clearly, he doesn't think that way. So anyway, I'm relaunching the business. Dance is expensive. Life is expensive. What else is new?
But you generally enjoyed making these too.
Yeah, like these are going to be completely different.
It's not just stickers or vinyls.
It's t-shirts, hoodies. Justin's wearing a hoodie now. I don't like calling you Justin. It's weird. What?
Do you want me to go put my hoodie on?
Oh, he's wearing a t-shirt.
Wearing a
now.
t-shirt. Yeah.
I swear, and that's no. What the crazy part is, I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking apple cider. And before people ask, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm just not drinking, so I'm drinking my apple cider.
This is the front, and this is like the guy's shirt. This is the front, and then if you can read it,
It says Man of Faith.
that's the back.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have more options and more. I just feel like shopping for Catholic things are kind of hard in between to find sometimes, and I just feel like sometimes there's such a bad MO for Catholics, and people feel. I don't know how to explain it, but it's more so just so people could be loud and proud about their faith. Like my hoodie says "To Jesus through Mary,"
And it's a cool.
rosary, cross, and
Yeah.
I'll have a bunch of different things. And
But I at least for me, and I look at the guy stuff. Most of the stuff I probably wouldn't wear. So like, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't scream out to me like, oh man, that's a shirt that a guy would wear. You know, like, So like, I like, especially the front where it's like a simple design like this, and then the back. I like that. I don't know. I like some of those simpler designs.
yeah, so my t-shirts came. I'm waiting for a couple other things, and I'm going to reopen the Etsy store. We're getting ready to go to a bazaar soon, maybe. I don't know. I'm still TBD about it. So much stuff to be done before then. But I'm excited because I feel like I'm going to put more time into it because I went back to the drawing board and did more research about what I wanted because I felt like I was all over the place. And then go from there because you see so many t-shirt shops now and stuff like that, but I feel like what I want to put out there you don't see as often or
Yeah.
as much. And then I'm putting it in a good price range too because sometimes people charge like $30 for a t-shirt. I would not pay $30 for a t-shirt that eventually will wear down. Not saying
Yeah,
my
so-
stuff would wear down, but you know what I mean.
But any shirt is going to wear, after X amount, whether it's sublimation, vinyl, all that stuff.
And I feel like I ruined your Harley shirt because I worn it a million times.
All that stuff will break down over time. Depends on how many washes you do, which is why I don't wash my shirts. Get in.
No, he's not. Just kidding.
So look forward to that soon. That's gonna be up and running soon, I think.
Probably within the next week or so.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Well, not this weekend. Why is that?
I am going.
Transition. See how that transition was there?
I am going on my first retreat, and we are going on a retreat together.
I guess it would be a first. It's not really a couples retreat.
It's
But
not.
It's like a
It's a healing
healing
retreat.
retreat. Yeah.
So I am excited, but nervous and anxious. And tomorrow I'll probably be kicking and screaming, saying a million reasons why I don't want to go.
What do you have as your first retreat? Do you have any expectation, or you just kind of like whatever happens?
Well, I
happens?
see sisters there. I love nuns.
I don't know.
That's why I was like excited when we went to the Catholic church, the Spanish one, because we saw sisters.
Yeah,
No, but when you've been on retreats, did you see sisters?
they were all men retreats. I mean, I guess.
Oh, I
no,
guess-
I guess they were all. Yeah, they were all men. No, there was one. I wouldn't. I guess you can call it a retreat. I don't know. It was Steubenville.
Why have I heard that? Is that youth thing?
Yeah.
I see that.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's retreat. Yeah, it's the youth retreat. But that that one was the only co-ed one. After all that, they were all men retreats. So no, there were no females.
Um, I am excited because I feel like will have a lot of healing, but I'm nervous to deal with all the emotion behind it. And because I'm one to bury my feelings until I explode, and then everyone's getting cussed out.
I think I don't really know what to expect with this one. I was kind of actually looking forward to it because I felt like it was going to be, as weird as it may sound, like not waiting for a restart, but it was almost going to be like a restart kickoff to get back into our routine.
Like a retreat high.
Yeah, and you got to be ready for that one because I've experienced it myself and I've seen it so many times where you go on a retreat and everything, especially when you start getting to the peak, and then everything's like, it seems like everything's just floating and working perfectly. And then all of a sudden, once you hit the real world, you come crashing right down. It's like a roller coaster. You're just going, and then you stay up, and then you hit the real world and it goes back down. Then you realize you're by yourself. Or maybe you are, like maybe you're single or whatever, and you come back and you realize you're back to your struggles again. Whereas before, even you had your struggles, you had a boatload of people that were still supporting you. The key is, you still made probably connections with those people in the retreat, keeping contact with them. Because if you lose that contact, then you feel like you're back by yourself again. But that is it's a real thing. You have that retreat high and you're doing good, and then life smacks you down. Or it's just like, it's not fun anymore. And then you just go back to your old ways.
Yeah, we're
You have to
definitely going
maintain
to
that.
hold each other accountable. But I feel like I'm going to be crying a lot and saying my feelings, which I hate saying my feelings sometimes. I mean, I was talking to my sister about that a week ago or so. Like, sometimes I'm so nonchalant with, like, because she was telling me she wasn't feeling well. I was like, oh, okay. Like, and I'm like, just buck up. Like, you'll be okay. So it's like, I'm going to be, like, vulnerable, whatever.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
Born. B. Try to get you to say some vulnerable.
Okay, moving on. So, and I think that you're the only person I've ever, like, told, like, everything to and actually opened up with. So, thinking about having to open up in front of strangers makes me, like, want to climb into a shell and, like, not say anything, which usually is me, like, when I'm, like, sitting in a room full of people, like, I could have a question or something like that, but I won't say anything because
That's what I'm there for. She's feeling this way. How would you deal with that? She doesn't like that answer. I'll just look at you. You know, like, no, okay. Yeah, she does not. No, that's not going to fly. Can you give another option?
Yeah. And then also reading the retreat, like, everything, it says, like, it's going to be long days. I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about my feelings all day. Yuck.
I don't think they're going to expect you to just open up. I think if anything, they're going to probably have people talking about scenarios, or they're going to give you the tools to help.
Oh, so I don't know what to expect, so that makes me nervous too.
Maybe unknown.
Yeah, I don't like that. I need to know everything.
Honestly, though, my favorite, like, when I did go to these retreats, which I was about going to another one, but it's not in this area, was when they had, like, I went to ones where, like, Into the Wild, when they were out, like, camping. My favorite part was TUT, training under the torchlight. And that's when anybody can go up and tell their story and that kind of stuff. And that was my favorite part when people would talk about stuff. Because it's like, oh, man. I mean, I've even gone up there a few times and talked. Because, like, you know, you're not by yourself. You're not the only one, you know. And then, like, you know, I shared some things before, and then people will come talk to me. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, same. Great example. I went up there and told my exact same story, like a story. I had someone come up to me and said, this is my situation. It was just like me. But I was like a year ahead of him in my situation. So I was able to help him go through certain things, and you know, or you might be a year behind somebody, and then they can say, I was kind of in the same situation. This is what I did.
Yeah, I just feel, because she did say, like, everyone does share their story, and I think because I buried a good part of it, to having to open up, I'll be like sniffling through the whole thing, like, like telling everything, and then, always, because I already judge myself to a, like, really hard extent, but then worry about others judging.
But I guess that's the part about there, at least from me, there was no judging. Because everyone knows when I was younger, you know, when it was like the adults, and like when I was in my younger, you know, like late teens. I think I went when I was in my late teens. Yeah, late teens. You heard the kids, you know, but they were still young. But something like this, where it's just gonna be strictly all adults,
Yeah.
you don't see that. And the retreats that I've been to, when it's just strictly adults, everyone's supportive. Like, there's no one been like, oh my gosh, I'm better than that person. Like, at least I didn't do that. You know, it's not that, which is what I like. And especially with this kind of retreat, I can guarantee you're not going to expect that, or you're not going to experience that.
Yeah. No.
Because no one, the only people that can judge is,
Well, everyone can judge, but
yeah,
the only
but
judge who matters is. I know what you're saying.
yeah.
No, it just makes me nervous because, like, it's like, oh, I have to finally face everything I've buried for so long.
Yeah.
Like, it was fine tucked away. But then when I talked to the one woman about it, she was saying, like, a lot of the things I do, it's a response to my, like, the trauma and stuff I've been through.
So,
Like, you know, I really suck at communicating sometimes with you, and, like, if you'll ask me what's wrong, and I'll say, oh, nothing. Then, like, a week goes by, then I tell you something you did, like, 10 days ago, finally. So that's a response to stuff I've been through.
or like when you beat me with a belt.
I don't
You
do
didn't
that.
text me when you were going to be home. I'm just kidding. She doesn't do that.
Actually, you didn't text me today when you were on your way home.
No, I was busy. My truck was having issues. I was more so worried about trying to get home.
Just kidding. But I am excited for the retreat because I've been trying to go to this retreat for months now, and the one retreat I tried to get to, they had to move where it was being held last minute, so there wasn't space for me. And then the next one, was the week of or the week before that I was supposed to go, they canceled it because unfortunately the priest passed away, and then the other one was happening while we were already away. So then having this one, it just seems it's finally time for it. And this one supposedly has, where this one's being done at and stuff, has like really very good reviews. Yeah. Weird to say reviews on a retreat. But yeah. So I'm nervous.
But we leave tomorrow, which will be Friday, which I'm hoping that this video will be up tomorrow. So it'd be today.
Yes, so I am.
It might not air on all platforms. Like, we're still on all platforms. If I had not said, we are on Google, iTunes,
soon
Spotify.
Did I tell you Google's getting rid of their podcast and it'll only be on YouTube?
What?
They're doing something like with YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. So it'd probably be like YouTube podcast or something like that.
Yeah, Google's doing away with their podcast.
Just like they went away with Google Music.
I know, I like that.
Yeah, but it's still the same with YouTube Music.
But yeah, so getting ready for this retreat. I have not packed yet. I didn't pack Lily's bag yet because she'll be going with. The kids are going with Justin's mom. I have not done a lot of things, and tomorrow I have so much to do, and we have to be at the retreat by 4.
I packed right before this episode.
Yeah, and we have to leave our house because where it's at, it's like pretty far, so we have to leave the house at 2. But I gotta drop the kids off because now where we live is an hour and a half from Justin's parents. So I gotta do that. Then come back, and then I guess pack the. Then I should probably start packing tonight, but I just don't know what I'm gonna bring. I need options.
Gotta clean the school.
Oh yeah, then we clean Lily's school on Fridays because we get a good discount.
It's really cool. Like where we're at now, like I don't know about every place, but so far the 2 places that we utilize in this area, they are accepting of we don't do one, but like they're accepting of like, oh, if you help clean this place, we'll take some off of your tuition or whatever the case may be. And it's like that's really cool that places allow us to do that. Like her school, we get a tremendous discount because we clean it every Friday, and not just like a little, like we thoroughly clean it, which is,
it's a lot.
But
Lily goes to school for $33 a month, so I can't beat it because childcare is super expensive.
Yep.
So I enjoy
$33 a month.
Yeah, I think my one friend, he pays like $1,200.
Yeah.
So
we're getting a good deal. We're utilizing our noodles, and we're working hard.
We're not saying that on Fridays when we're picking up glitter and crackers off the floor and wiping down tables, but it's okay.
I don't mind.
You didn't even do it last week.
We've done it 3 times. I've done it once out of the 3.
Yes.
Twice out of the 3.
Oh, yeah, twice. I've done it twice. So we're both at twice.
Yeah. You'll be ahead of me tomorrow because I won't be.
I know, I really don't feel like doing it because I have so much to do, but I should just get stuff done tonight so I can just do it tomorrow and knock it out real fast. I can't do it until after 12 anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, like, go through that so fast, but I won't have Lily with me, thankfully. Usually I have her with me, and I'm trying to mop, and she's just pouring water on the floor or doing whatever she's doing, so I should be able to knock that out quickly.
So, we'll obviously have to do an episode about... After the retreat, but we also have a few other topics like we want, especially with where we're at in our life right now and the changes that we want. Like, I think at least for me, my biggest thing is trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to map out what God wants us to do and also what I want to do. And so it's like, I'm hoping God's plan is sort of okay with my plan too, that it'll somehow both work.
But he'll block it if he does not want it to work.
Yeah, and there's already a few situations where it was. So I think that would be a cool episode to do, like trying, and of course when we talk about saying, following God's plan, by no means we're like, this is what you got to do because we're experts at it. Look at our names. They're growing Catholics.
I'm a hot mess express.
She's a convert, and I'm. I was.
They were born... a convict. I'm like, no, I am not.
Yet, but she was a convert, and I'm.
Cradle.
Yeah. So it's like, but even now we're both growing in it because it's like I'm being reintroduced to it. Well, it was thanks to you, but like, we're just going through what we're experiencing, and it's kind of just like a, speak your mind kind of thing. This is what we're experiencing. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that because we're not saying this is the way to do it, but this is how it's been working for us or what we're learning. And if somebody who has had experience with that recently, write a comment, send us an email, do whatever.
I feel God helps fill that void in your life.
And I think that was one of the things where it's like,
sometimes people don't know what that void is. And for a long time, I didn't obviously before I found the Catholic Church. And it was, I was just missing God and the church and all that good stuff that the Catholic Church brings.
And when you follow that, somehow things just naturally fall into place.
Yeah. Like, I'm more at peace. Like, there's a more calming presence with myself, which I noticed because, like, before you could ask anybody, like, I would snap, like, at things or people. But now I don't do that.
There's something
as much.
Something I opened up to. What was it?
You got a coupon. Where'd you get that coupon?
What coupon?
That one.
This is a concert ticket.
Oh, I thought it was a coupon. Sorry. I love apple cider.
Oh. I opened up to this on a day when I was feeling very overwhelmed. And I read this. It was, "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor about your body, what you shall put on. Is not your life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add 1 cubit to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies in the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not clothed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore do not be anxious, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the Gentiles seek all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first his kingdom, and his righteousness, and all the things shall be yours as well."
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty interesting when I was dealing with that, and I came across that.
That's crazy.
So I think that, it goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's like, we have to focus our life around that, not focus the prayer around our life.
I agree 1,000%.
But we are, I guess, getting into that hour mark. Is there anything else that I feel like we've missed?
Shout out to our awesome neighbors, Larry and Lauren,
Yes.
who's helped us through this transition of moving. Larry was here like almost every day with you when we moved.
Yeah.
Helping you move stuff in. And I've been bombarding Lauren with nonstop questions, like from homeschooling to dance to whatever else. And they're just awesome people.
Yeah, so you hear Larry on all the time, but we actually moved closer now, so we're actually really close. But it's a nice area.
It's like a small town type feel, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, they have parades. I'm really looking forward to the town. The Christmas. It's a Christmas town. Like, it's Christmas in the area, and like I guess everyone gets involved, and to me,
I love that.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I feel like we're near a lot more Amish, which I love. Like, you see a lot more farms. I don't like the smell. I will never get used to the smell. No offense.
I don't mind it, but I also grew up near cows.
Yeah, you grew up around it, so you're like used to it. I'm just like, and Lily's like, "Mom, like, that's not me. Kids are mean."
And so, yeah, we're just doing a lot of cool things. I feel like with a change in my life, not only with this, but like with the previous changes, opened me up to be able to do things I've always wanted to do. Like, especially being down here, we're literally 3 minutes from a pond. So I've been like fishing so many times, taking the kid, or at least taking Kira fishing, which that's been fun. And this year, I'm getting into hunting, and I've been trying to do that more. And going to there's a sportsman club 5 minutes from here, so I get to hopefully join that beginning of next year and practice shooting. And we took Kira shooting for the first time. I got her a gun.
You took me shooting for the first time.
Same time, yeah. But we got her that gun.
My first rifle, yeah.
2 years ago.
Yes,
and so she finally was able to shoot. She's actually a really good shot. Like, her group, and for 50 yards with an iron sight, it was about like that. And so for her first time shooting at 50 yards with an iron sight and a grouping like that, that's pretty good. Like, I probably couldn't have done that. So.
Oh yeah, we went on vacation too.
Oh yeah, we went on vacation.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we went to North Carolina, Mount Airy.
Then we went to Asheville for the zoo, the world's largest natural habitat zoo. That zoo was huge.
Oh, and the church we went to was so small.
It was so, yeah.
Like, I thought our current parish was small, but this one,
they don't even use their church. But
Well, the chapel was
when we went there, I understood why they didn't use a church because
well, that was the chapel, I think.
no, that was the church.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. That's not chapels are not that big.
Yeah, some of them are that was not big at all.
That was a church.
I don't think so.
I think so. Okay, why
We'll
would
find
they?
out.
Why would they
I
host
could have
it?
heard them say the chapel because it was an off day.
Isn't a church considered a chapel?
No.
Just kidding. I know
A
that
chapel-
chapels where Jesus is held. Yes,
There's a chapel in the church
right. Like that's where adoration takes place.
if they have it. Yeah.
Not all churches do adoration.
No.
We probably had this discussion a million
I
times.
think our parish has adoration,
But it's not
But it's not perpetual
24.
adoration.
Yeah, which is I find different.
If
but
you don't have the
St. Joe's near us, they do perpetual adoration, which I still want to do
Yeah.
on my list. I'm pretty sure that was a church, but then if it was not, that makes sense why it was so small. But then, because we were there Saturday for Mass, but then Monday or Tuesday was it Assumption of Mary? Mm-hmm. So
something like that.
it was a holy day obligation. And we were late, per usual. We did not sit together. I'm struggling with Lily, and it was really small, super small. But I like how they have the line for communion. Like, you have a line, but then you all sit down.
Oh yeah.
So I don't feel rushed to, like, bow, amen, and take them.
You know.
Well, yeah, I like that because then you get time because he's still giving others the
Yeah.
Eucharist. So it was a cute little church. That was a small town. I love that. I love being in the South. I didn't like the heat. It was so hot. It was humid.
But colder weather is coming.
Hopefully. No, it is.
And that's supposed to drop Sunday
Oh, is it?
in the 40s.
Oh, yay. I love the fall, but I love the South. Everyone was so sweet and nice, and everything was slow. Everything closed early. Everything was closed on Sunday. I was like, I can get used to this.
But that's what it's like here at Toe. A lot
Yeah,
of
it
places
is.
are closed on Sunday. Heck, even the receipts you get, it has a Bible verse in it, like from the shop because it's a lot of it is Amish.
Like,
So-
Goods has that Bible verse.
Yeah, so you have that that faith in there. So
Yeah, I can't think of anything else we did, but we're just super busy, which is crazy. Like, Kira has danced a couple days a week, then Lily, then school, and then work, and then it's just like, I'm all over the place.
and we know everyone's dying to hear our podcast because we have so many fans. There's just that one person. Yes, I'm listening to you guys. Thanks for coming back.
Imagine we did a
Well,
bazaar.
thank you for listening.
Imagine we did the bazaar, but then did like an episode while we were there as it was happening. We are live.
Can you see we're recording, please? Can you leave us alone? I know you want to buy something, but please leave us alone.
Yeah. So there's that.
And we're here at the 2023 Christmas Bazaar. Mercedes, what do you think of this crowd right now? We are moving along.
Oh, that makes me think of how I don't like crowds.
Yeah, well,
I'm not. I feel like I'm turning not to a people person, but like, was I ever?
get over it.
That's rude.
I'm a rude guy.
I know. Really
Especially
rude.
put some of this in me, I'm even more pleasant. But anyway, we are. What? Okay, not that. See, this is what I'm working with. This is why she drinks apple cider.
Cut. Cut.
So, anyway, back to our Catholic podcast. It was not me, Mom.
You always blame me, and it's not.
So it's getting warm in here. Let's wrap this up. And I guess anything else we'll think of, it'll be in the future episodes. Hopefully, this will not be back to a week basis
Probably
just
bi-weekly.
yet. To start, bi-weekly. Eventually, the goal is to get back to weekly. And I think it should happen fairly soon. Like, I think we should need to get back into this. I think it's going to happen
I
sooner
think it was
than
really good for us because we had that time together.
Yeah, I think it'll happen sooner than later. So probably one won't be next week, but you never know. who knows? Things could change.
It probably won't be next week.
But until then,
I am Mercedes.
And
I was like, how do we end this again?
wait, how did we end it?
I don't know. But have a good night.
Yeah, basically. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's what Lily does all day.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I guess until next time, thanks for tuning in. Check us out on all platforms, and yeah,
Have a good night.
have a good night. Thank you.
Or good
Bye.
day. Bye.